Hi, it's Mandy back with another video. In the last video, I talked a little bit about the COVID situation and that we're all unsure and how to use the term TBD with your child to help them develop some flexibility in the unknown, that we don't have the answers. When am I going to go back to school? When am I going to get back to my routine? When am I going to get back to my speech class? When am I going to get back to my play dates, those types of things. In this video, I want to talk about some of the ways that you can capitalize being at home with your kids. And I know there's a lot of information out there, and I'm just going to be real about this. I know that this is incredibly stressful, and every day you're probably feeling and starting to worry that all is lost in some aspects with respect to your child's skills development. And this is a completely fair feeling, right? Those of you who have kids that are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders, who are in very structured center-based programs, they were really doing a lot from minute to minute, day to day in those programs. So what I want to say to you parents is to try to shift out of the mindset that all is lost. In my experience in working in one of those programs, what I will tell you is it never ceased to amaze me that no matter how much time lapsed between the time that the child was on a break versus when they came back to the program, it's amazing when we look at how they script information and how they remember, right? It's kind of like they can fall back into the routine relatively easily. First day might be okay. Second day, a little rough. Next week, you might have some rough days. But all in all, your kids are going to remember what they left and how to readjust to that. So yes, it's going to take a little bit of time, but please try to not think too much about the transition back into their school-based program yet. It will be a little bit of a struggle for everybody. The second piece of this is skill regression. And again, if this hasn't gone through your mind, I would be very surprised, because with that intensity of school and service, your kids were doing a lot all day, and now you might find that it's really hard to keep them engaged, and they're pulled toward video games or their iPads or whatever, movies, repetitive things that they're highly preferred interests. And it also might be difficult to keep them on task with homeschooling if it's virtual. Some kids might do really well with this, some might not. Again, going back to these concepts, here's the umbrella under the people formally diagnosed with spectrum disorders, and here is the category who isn't. We're all experiencing this to some degree. But again, the message is that you can do other things with the kids at home, and don't underestimate the teaching moments that you have. For example, if you've watched one of my other videos about the hand washing, simply being able to have your kids be a little bit more mindful, even if you're prompting them, right? Because mindfulness inherently is really hard for these kids. Prompting them not to touch their face so much, to wash their hands after they maybe go to the bathroom even. Maybe some kids aren't doing that even. It depends on where their development is. Maybe they wash their hands after they come in from playing outside. Don't underestimate that you've just taught your child a new skill. If they're doing this with some degree of independence or with a prompt or two, depending on where they are developmentally, there's a skill. Another skill can be, just going through daily life. I think we overuse the term daily life skills, but that's essentially what they are. Skills we need to get through the day, even if it's how to work around someone in the kitchen, right? If you have multiple family members, even if it's how to take turns and share the space, even if it's just waiting, those are all life skills that are appropriate to your household and your family. So try to shift your mindset from all is lost with all of those technical, academic, functional skills that they might be not receiving right now in the school, but think about the creative ways that you can teach them at home. If you are using this concept that I talk about in the last video of TBD, that's huge in trying to develop flexibility. So if you're latching onto that, that's a big job in itself. you're going to be able to use that piece in the future when things are unknown. Remember that time we were home with the coronavirus and it was TBD? This is TBD also. So you can work on generalizing some of these skills. So I hope that this was helpful for you and hopeful in the way that, yeah, we're all in the same position. Try not to worry too much about the skill regression. And there's lots that you can do at home for the little things just around the house. Thanks for watching.